Welcome to the Wolfkeeper, a show that's just about everything that you could maybe think about, everything that you can feel that's inside of your heart. What I need for you to do right now is spend the next hour relaxing. Just stop your day before you go into 12 o'clock. And I just want y'all to close your minds, open your hearts, and relax and go on this journey with me. It's a beautiful place that you're about to go, because I want to make you feel, I want to just open you up and think about some things you never really thought about. Right now, the Wolfkeeper. Come on. Good morning, y'all. Come on. It's the Wolfkeeper show. Get ready. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. It's the Wolfkeeper show. Your boy Toriano Sanzoni. Yeah. Chanelli Nell. My boy Tyrone Scott somewhere rocking the Doogie Dogs. Denzel's in his house. Shacky Shack. And for all the people out there that love us, we love you back. Thank you all. Get ready for an amazing show with the Wolfkeeper. Get ready. Here we go.
All the people out there that love you back, and even if you don't love us, we still love you even more. Toriano Sanzoni, the Wolfkeeper, with my amazing co-host, the world fabulous, coming back from her European tour with Patti LaBelle. It's Chanelli Nails in his
I don't know about all of that, but I'm here.
Chanelli Nails, you're not acting all super pumped up about that.
I don't know. I mean, you can't be doing that.
What do you mean?
On tour with Patti LaBelle? That's big. People gonna be starting hitting me up on my DM.
You're on tour with Patti LaBelle, all right, and my amazing guest today, rocking CAT-Tober, the first. I wasn't here yesterday, so this is really the first week for me. the infamous, world famous Veronica Coit is in the house.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing? You have a phenomenal. Are you born and raised down there in NC?
Yeah. Originally, I'm from the coast of North Carolina, but I've been in the mountains for almost 20 years.
Are you for real North Carolina, or are you like a transplant from LA or from Seattle someplace, or like?
Actually, I did just find out that my family history is from the like Charlotte, Mecklenburg area. So I'm really from North Carolina.
You know, a lot of times, you guys got a lot of transplants down there. That's Jordan country. Like, I've never realized, like, you don't really realize how mega Michael Jordan is until you go to those Carolinas. Because even South Carolina, it's like Jordan just owns the Carolina, period. Like, like Jordan Blue's a real thing. Like, I saw Grandma was like in like Jordan baby blue, like in Jordan 23 on like. They love them some Michael Jordan down there in North Carolina.
Oh yeah, basketball is definitely a big deal.
Yeah, and you guys make this big deal about this guy, Jordan guy, this Michael guy, like he's.
Yeah, I definitely remember like all the men in my family who were into sports were really like proud that he was from North Carolina or went to school here.
That's a real deal. That's like a real thing. I love in North Carolina. I just love the Carolinas because you all are just like about it. Just I feel at home there. I mean, people are friendly and like. Am I wrong? Is this true for North Carolina? Because I know when I was in South Carolina, I saw more like wannabe NASCARs on the street. Like grandmama was in a like souped up Charger going to Best Buy. Like everyone had some kind of car modification. Is South Carolina? Because I know that's like NASCAR world over there. Do you guys do the same thing?
Yeah, I think there's definitely people who are into it. And if you've been a passenger in my car before, you would think that I'm auditioning for NASCAR.
So you're about it too. You're in that world.
I just like to drive very fast.
You all do that down. No, Chanel, have you been down there? Have you seen? You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't. No.
I mean, there's
a NASCAR museum in Charlotte.
Oh, nice. And I have family in Charlotte. I have to make my way down there.
So let's get into it. I mean, once again, I keep saying when they rebroadcast this, they look at the transcripts. One thing I have consistently said each show with this being CAT-Tober is that I'm just so impressed with people's love for the kitties. I mean, we always hear about dogs. People are addicted to their dogs. They buy, there are all kind of activities and things for dogs. But then here you are with starting a cat organization, Cat Weirdos, which I love that name of Cat Weirdos.
Thank you.
It's super cute, and just everything that you've done to dedicate your time and energy to helping cats. And not that, like, well, of course you would help cats because cats need help, but then I've learned from myself as an animal person for the last 20 years that there are some people, I think cats, I'm going to just say this, dog people might be mad, but I think cat people just bring it to like other levels of animal husbandry that you just don't see in the dog. Like you all really get that.
I can agree.
I love when you put cat weirdos. You mean, because I think cat people can make fun of themselves with like, crazy cat lady, cat weirdos. I'm a cat like Sterling, who isn't on here today. I mean, he has like 5 cats. I mean, I have one cat going crazy that I adopted. Didn't realize how much work a cat is, but people have multiple cats. I'm going on and on and on, giving you all these accolades about how do you even get to the point of wanting to just commit that time to cats, and then tell us about your organization.
So it started out with a Facebook group, and the Facebook group started in a comment section of another local Facebook group where we were doing that thing where we make fun of ourselves. You know, cat people are weird, you know, like old crazy cat ladies, whatever. So I came up with the name Asheville Cat Weirdos and started the group, and pretty quickly, I realized that something different was happening, that like this community was forming. And there were a couple of situations. There was a cat that I met the owner of, and the owner was already into this cat like $10,000, and
Wow.
she had this rare condition where she had like basically brittle bones, but only in her jaw and her legs. And I wanted to help her, and then we made a calendar, and when we did the calendar, we gave the proceeds to a local feral cat trap, neuter, release program. Not Trap King. I didn't know about him yet. It was something called Friends to Ferals. And I met all these people, and I realized that I had experienced something really similar to so many other people, and that was that I had been, through no fault of my own, poor to the extent where when my cat got sick, I had to either choose between euthanizing it or sending it to the shelter, and I wanted to make that stop because it's not a good feeling.
Wow. And so I love that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I love that story because, I mean, you hear that all the time with dog people. I mean, dog people. We got 2 hours left before Susie the pit bull is euthanized, and people will come. No, Susie can't die. Like,
No.
but when cat, you don't always hear about these stories. And then whose page? I mean, you guys have a lot of followers. You got close to like 14,000. That's a lot.
Yeah. I was really surprised. I remember that, like, as we reached, 1,000, and as we reached 5, and I just kept going, "Wow, really?
But who actually started it?
Me.
You.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this on here. It says group rules for admits. Don't be an asshole. That's
Yes.
number 1.
Yes.
That's check. All posts must be cat related. Number 2. We are anti-decline, pullback group, and cleaner and neuter. Number 4. There is no such thing as free kill. I love it. Number 5. Rehoming posts. Right? Number 6. No GoFundMe or personal fundraising posts. 7. No negative posts about rescues or veterinarian. I love this. No politics. 9. Protect location of feral colonies. Love it. Promotion is okay, but only if it's cat related.
What are you reading?
Like, Chanel, you didn't do your homework, girl. I told you, like, this is going to be an. I got real questions
I
here.
missed it.
When I was reading, you got to go to Asheville Cat Weirdos on Facebook because, like, I'm just giving the cliff notes. There's like some detailed information here about being a part of your tribe. You
gotta keep people focused, because if everything, and then the next thing you know, people are sharing politics, and I don't have the time to moderate political conversations.
There's 10 tribal rules here. I love that the first tribal rule is don't be an asshole.
Yes.
This is a community. Be kind and give people the benefit of the doubt. Bullying of any kind isn't allowed, and degrading comments about things like race, religion, culture, sexual orientation, gender, or identity will not be tolerated. Amen. Hallelujahs. You're not having it. You're like...
That's my personal favorite rule, too.
I love it.
And my favorite is when we pull a comment because somebody broke that rule, and you get to send them an anonymous, as a moderator of the group, you get to send them an anonymous comment as to why their post was removed. And I can just, like, I visualize the person on the other end going, yeah, don't be an asshole. Oh, okay. All right.
Veronica, can I call you V?
Yeah.
I can just see that being a t-shirt. Don't be an asshole. Just that simple. Don't be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Straight into the point.
Don't like that's your number one rule on your book. And clearly your marketing stance, you're doing a lot right, because I mean, it is really hard to get 14,000 people to like and be a part of any group, because you can't just go in your group. You have to click on this button to join your group.
The questions are pretty good too. There's actually to make sure that people read the rules within the questions to enter the group. One of them actually tells you to find the password inside the rules.
Now, your group activity, 73 people have joined your group just last week alone. It's growing. What's your thought process like when you said something, this was different? That struck the nerve when you said this was different when you started this. Like people, like, when did you discover that you was shocked that you didn't necessarily know?
Well, little things like Asheville's really dog-centered. There are whole businesses around being a dog owner. So I kind of thought that I was alone, or maybe there were only a few people that were like me that were really into cats. So that was surprising. And then I look back periodically on like how things happened. And I started the group in March of 2016.
Yeah.
And I remember 2016, and I think it was the first time, kind of what we're having now, where people are realizing that their friends and their family are garbage, and they're, you know, they have very different, very different morals. So back in 2016, people were kind of just finding out that, like, oh, my uncle's a terrible racist, so I can't talk to him anymore because he sucks. So what was happening in the world, in the United States at large, was that people were losing a community. They were losing the family that they went to their house all the time and hung out with, and there was this new community forming where the first rule was don't be an asshole. I think it's a timing thing.
I think that should be a t-shirt. Yeah. I want that to be a t-shirt.
And everybody, yeah.
So Bentley wants to be a t-shirt too. Bentley will rock it.
I don't know. He feels like he should be on a show.
So you have Asheville Cat Weirdos, Asheville Dog Weirdos, and an Asheville Cat Weirdo Emergency, and all of these have significant amount of...
Dog Weirdos is not me. That's somebody else.
Do you know them?
I know of them. I think a couple of the admins, and there's a lot of crossover in membership. Yeah, they kind of started about a year or so after us, and they were like, "Oh, well, we're weird too, and we have dogs." And I'm like, okay.
You didn't send the lawyer over there saying, "Look, you cannot use the word weirdo and animal."
It's mine. Oh gosh, there's chicken weirdos and bunny weirdos too.
Chicken?
It's whole. Yeah. If you search Asheville and weirdos, you'll find at least there's a chicken and a bunny one.
Hey Chanel, CDW, yes. CDW.
What does that mean?
Chicago.
Please don't knock anything over there.
I think you should start it. There's lots of... No, I like that. I like that because it's making fun of yourself, because that's a thing. People crazy cat lady or crazy cat person, or the person out there throwing food in the alley feeding 20 cats, or people that have multiple cats in their home, and that's a whole
Most
nother...
cat people do have more than one, yeah.
So this is... I remember...
Oh, what's that?
No, I'm going to say, so are you doing other stuff outside of cats, or was this the full time?
Yeah, I keep pretty busy. For the first few years, it was a lot me, but it was really important to me because I'd seen burnout in other rescue groups and people who were involved, and I didn't want to get burnt out. So it was important in the first few years that I established a really good team that I could essentially, if I needed to take a break, which I have over the last few months as I've kind of stepped back a little bit, but I could trust the team to move forward in the same way that I would, and I do. I have an amazing team.
So, but is this what you guys are doing full time? This is like the...
This is not a paying job.
It's not a paid job.
No. I do this. We do this as a... What are you doing? Please don't knock that over. This is all volunteer work, and we do it for the love. Over, right? Yes. Whole new show, just the pets.
I know.
This is what you guys are just doing out of your heart. You're not doing this because this is how you survive to keep the lights on.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to have a whole full-time job in addition to this.
Wow. I totally commend that, because any kind of volunteer work is work in itself. That is for sure. So what's a typical day, week, or month for, the cat weirdos? Like, what's you all mission? Like, how do you guys progress? How do you 14,000 people together over the last years? So the group itself is just a lot of content moderation, a lot of keeping people focused. Back when North Carolina was in shutdown, I did these events, these online events. What did we have? The best one was what's that game where you get like a list of items and you have to like find scavenger hunt? Yes, we did these big scavenger hunts that lasted. There was like 7 days worth, and it was like every other day, and there were these lists of 10 things. And in addition to having the one for everyone who was in quarantine, we also did a whole nother, like, it kind of happened at two times of the day. One of them would happen like live action, like as the scheduled posts would come up and people would comment. And then there was a whole second one that we made just for the essential workers, because we didn't want them to be left out. So people who were working in the shelters and working at the hospital, they could still participate. And so, yeah, we had two groups running. Oh, and then we did bingo for a while. So that was dope. I love bingo.
I love bingo.
Yes, I can't wait to be like 75 years old with chain smoking.
Me too. I'm sitting right next to you.
Like, Sharon, I will cut you. I saw you cheat.
I'm sitting right next to you.
Yes.
Wait, so you were doing these
a lot of content. Yeah. This was all like, the bingo was a live video, and then the scavenger hunt. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The scavenger hunt, I scheduled the post. So there was like a post. So we would have like a day. What's that?
How do you do an online scavenger hunt?
Pictures. So like, say day one, there were 10 items. So I'd have the initial scheduled post in the group. I really took advantage of scheduled posts. I actually sat down over the course of several hours, because I could either like live post them as they happened, and that would, when you're posting one an hour, so that would have taken like all day, plus the moderation. So what we did, I scheduled several hours. I made these cute little graphics that had like the name of the item, and then you were supposed to find it in your house, take a picture, and put it in the comments. And then I had a friend actually go through. So you would get an hour to find the item in your house and post the picture in the comments. And all these posts were pinned to the top of the group so you could find them. So you'd be like, oh, it's noon, the game starts now, and just go straight to the group, and it would be that very first post. And then I had a friend go through, and she would kind of write the names and figure out who had gotten all of the items, and then the scheduled post would come out one every hour. And then at the end of the hour, you would turn off the comments so people couldn't come in, too late. Because the live action one was like live during the day. There's a post that goes up, tells you what to get. You get a picture, you put it in the comments. It was a lot of work.
I'm sure.
Well, I feel like you should just be like making that a business, arranging online scavenger hunts, because that totally melted my brain. I don't even
I can't take credit for the idea. I reached out to the whole staff. So there's we have a secret Facebook group just for the staff, and that's the people who do the content moderation, and then also the people who work on the emergency fund. So I reached out to them to kind of get some ideas and get some dialogue going, and then I also reached out in 2019. I was one of a few hundred, I want to say like 300 people maybe, who got invited to the Facebook Community Summit. Have you heard of these?
No.
Yeah, so it's exactly that. Facebook will. Mine just showed up in my feed. Like I was just scrolling through my feed at the end of 2018, and it was like, "Oh, do you want to come to Facebook Community Summit?" And I was like, "Yes." So I filled out the app. I did a phone thing, and it was admins of Facebook groups from all over the world, and Facebook paid travel costs. They put us up in hotels. They had us spread out in like 3 different hotels. It was amazing, and I learned a lot. It was in like at Facebook.
Nice.
I don't know, Kelly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Paul's where is it? Really?
I can't remember. It was funny though. I remember. So I don't smoke, but I do. And on the Facebook campus in California, they don't allow smoking. But because they had these people from literally all over the world, they had to give us like this small section of outdoors. So I just remember standing around with the other smokers like every hour or so, being like, "Yeah, we're the bad kids."
I love it. Wow, that is so amazing. You're just on it, entrepreneurial wise. I mean, and nonprofits are, I want to say, like, are some of the biggest businesses anyway, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of tedious, like, work. What are some ways that people can help and contribute that are hearing this?
So I have to backtrack a little bit to answer that question. So a lot of people get confused about what we do. Like I get messages from people who are like, "Hey, I want to adopt a kitten." And I'm like, "Well, I don't actually do that." What we do is it's a whole new model for animal welfare. Previously, animal welfare focused on, rescues and shelters where they would take in animals. Sometimes they would have like little grant programs that could help you with things. But for the most part, the model was to take in animals. What we're doing is pet retention, and that focuses on the ability of a person to keep the cat they have. In doing that, we have our 3 main programs, which is the main one, which is a veterinary assistance program. And that's straight, like you send in an application, we look it over. Sometimes we consult with your veterinarian, and then we make payments on your vet bill directly to the vet. And then we have the pantry, and the pantry has food and litter, of course, but then also equally important are flea medicine and dewormer. We saw a lot of posts over the course of a year where people were like, "Oh, my cat has fleas, I have to get rid of it." And I'm like, "Well, that's not going to get rid of the fleas." Making our pantry, right? Like, "Oh, cat's got to go." Like, "Do you have carpet though?"
No. It's
so,
true, no.
Right. So having those things. And then the last piece, of course, was the Spay and Neuter Fund, which was our only grant funded program. So the things we need, like, to help is money. Like most nonprofits, cash.
That's as simple as don't be an asshole. It should be like, don't be an asshole, like, period. That's it.
Yeah.
I love it. No, I mean, that's huge, because retention is a whole nother. I just had a conversation with a woman this morning about, like, hey, more than likely, and parents fall into this trap all the time where they convince the parent to go get a dog, and then 4 months later, it's the parent's dog. And then if the parents aren't prepared, some parents, I'm like, hey, here's the bottom line. Like, what do you think we should do?
The whole situation.
If what I'm saying comes true, are you cool with keeping the dog? Some people are like, yeah, I'll keep them. Some parents are like, what? If they need a dog, will you take it? What? I heard you. I'm just trying to, like, really process, like.
Yeah.
So, a lot of dogs are getting kicked out because the second owner is like, oh, heck no, I didn't want an animal to sign up for this. And you don't think about, because, like, my cat, who's super pretty, he's a Himalayan. And they spent some money on this cat. I'm like, he got kicked out.
Wow.
So Buddha, the pretty cat, like they were for real about to bring him to the shelter, which I was like, wow. I'm like, which I did not need. I promise you, like I did not need another. That's why I'm fascinated too. But I'm looking for a picture of CAT-Tober because cats not even low key. Cats are work. Cats are not these autopilot little.
See, I didn't think that. I thought that they were like much more easier than dogs. Like you could leave them, you could just.
Nope.
Like they don't require as much attention as
they get into stuff, and they get like separation anxiety if you don't hang out with them. You got to play with them. You got to cats put you, and then two. Oh, there he is.
Oh my god! Oh, look at it! Oh,
she
he's
like
a
wants to pet it.
I do. I wanna. Oh, that's such a fluke.
He got kicked out. I'm like, now if he gets kicked out, everybody gets kicked out. Because some people just like, one, his fur is no joke. Like, there's fur. There is not enough brushing in the world. Like, I don't even know how many brushes it would take. Like, and it doesn't even matter the food. Like, so there's that. And then two, you have to do some kind of training with the cat too, because I didn't realize I was a bad cat owner to my friend Allie. Shout out to Allie and I told you I forgot her name. But they were like, they came over my house and they were cat people. They're hard. They got like 5 or 6. They were just like, your cat shouldn't just be jumping everywhere. Your cat shouldn't just be like, and I feel like I tell dog people, like when I see out of control dogs, I didn't think that cats could have any boundaries. Even though a dog, of course, you could train a cat. But thanks to CAT-Tober, the good people that put this show on, Mary Tan and Rejoice, thank you so much. Because I've learned a lot. I mean, Chanel is afraid of cats. So I'm even trying to get Chanel over her fear of cats.
Oh,
not so much afraid, just like, I don't like them.
Chanel, step 1, admit to your fear. Look, let's start there, just looking at them. See, that's freaking Chanel out right there by herself. She's like,
it's cute, but look how she's looking. Like,
she do look mad.
I think it's that like sassiness about them that just like
over, grabbing her local whiskey bottle to calm her nerves of her fear of little.
I think a lot of people are used to cats that are a little bit antisocial. That's for me the biggest difference about cat people, like what's required of cat people and dog people is like you have to be social to some extent with a dog. You have to go on walks and dog parks, and that's one of the funnier things about cat people. There was when we had our very first Asheville Cat Weirdos event. It was when we hit 1,000 people. And we released our logo bumper sticker. And I'll never forget the guy that actually encouraged me to start the group that was in that comment section and we were making fun of each other. He was like, you do know that like if we were dog people that this would not be our first event. Like we would have weekly get-togethers at the dog park and we'd be barbecuing at each other's houses and you could keep us away from each other. And I was like, I know, the fact that there's so many of us here, I was shocked. Just because cat people in general were like, no, I mean, I love you, but like, I'm going to be inside.
And that's the part that's so amazing about, I mean, if there's a tit for tat, I'm going to speak as the representative of the dog community. We're not as drilled down as the cat community that's for sure. You all, and for a lot of different obvious reasons, because cats don't get as much of public attention as dogs. So if it wasn't for people like you doing being a cat advocate, there would be a lot. If there wasn't volunteer cat advocates, people that are taking time out of their life to do such things, especially what you're doing, because you're flat out saying, I need money. Like you don't need any litter boxes sent to you. You don't need cat food sent to you. No. You just flat out money.
We do have an Amazon wish list that the pantry itself, it self-sustains with people make purchases and donate things through the Amazon wish list for that. So technically I need cat food, litter, flea medicine, and dewormer. That's how the pantry stays in stock. So yes, I do need that stuff, but mostly it's just money. I could buy the cat food.
Right. No, but I'm saying like retention is a big deal because if a person's saying, hey,
this cat had, because that's the other thing too. Shout out to Dr. Blue and those guys down in Houston. But we talked back in August on the show, no, September, and he said a lot of people just don't even bring cats in for vet visits. So a lot of times when people do bring the cat in for the vet visit, the cat is like on its last leg, it's puking, it's doing something that's extreme that's going to cause maybe $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And if you're not into bringing that animal to the vet, you're not prepared for a $5,000 bill, you're saying you can help that person out.
Yeah. We've absolutely done, I don't think we've quite done 4,000, but I'm pretty sure we did 2.
Now, is that strictly for North Carolina people only, or is that like, how's that work?
Yeah, it's a regional thing. Yeah, it's Western North Carolina. It's kind of a weird arbitrary cutoff, but we called it Interstate 77. If there's a county that falls on both sides, then they're considered Western North Carolina, because these lines are weird and they make no sense. But yeah, Western North Carolina.
Are there other people across the country that are doing what you're doing?
I found a Facebook group in the first year called Weirdo Cat Lovers of Cleveland. And I made friends with a couple of their admins, and they had thought about starting some stuff up. And I think one of them may have gone off on her own and done something. But it's a lot of work. People underestimate how much work it is. I did find one group in Silva, North Carolina, that's doing cats and dogs, but it's the same concept. They're paying vet bills.
I don't know why anyone would ever underestimate that. My brain is fried just thinking about the online scavenger hunt that you guys are doing. I mean, that, Chanel, that's your project today, to set up an online scavenger hunt. I need that done by like 2 p.m. Thanks. But,
I think it took me like a week.
A week?
Right. Yeah, I had to work on it. When we were quarantined too, so I wasn't leaving the house. I'd devote like sometimes 4 or 5 hours, because there was each day, and I think we did like 7 days, 5 or 7 days. So each day had to have the introduction post, and then there were 10 items on each day's list. So then there would be 10 more, and it was like info cards I made with like there was like a oh my God, I designed them all. Like I came up with a concept that would last the whole week, and I basically just had to put new words in them, but I still had to make like every day, every post. Oh, and then there would be a whole separate, every day there was a post for the essential workers.
Like teacher degree, like you've run some preschool kindergarten classes before.
That's such a great idea to keep everybody engaged.
It did. We knew that, like, we've watched things happen. The group's been around since 2016, and I can remember, like, any time, like, it snowed and people would be stuck in their house, the rule was 2 days. By the first day, they're doing great. They're enjoying the snow. Everything's fine. Second day, start to get a little testy, a little irritated, a little snippy at each other. By the third day, people are ready to cut each other's throats, and we often take it out on people online. And I saw it too, like around the holidays when people would be off from work for extended periods of time, seeing family, getting stressed out. I saw people get really snippy with each other online, and that broke rule number 1 quite a bit. So I was like, we're going into this thing and people are going to be home. They're going to be bored. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to be scared, and they're going to start attacking each other. So the events we did during the quarantine were to keep people kind of engaged and doing good.
And I imagine with that many people, I mean, you have to keep the rules though, or it could get all kind of crazy with people texting, which you don't really think. That's, once again, Am I alone in this thought process? You're not thinking that cat people are going to get all crazy like that, where you even have to say, be cool, don't be posting crazy stuff. But clearly you have to.
We have a couple of topics that are actually not allowed at all. The biggest one is the indoor versus outdoor. It's a whole thing, and I equate it to parenting. You can't tell someone how to parent and expect them to not be mad at you. And there's a lot of shaming. So we don't allow a conversation about indoor outdoor because it always turns nasty. So what we try to do is focus people on ways to avoid it. Like, no, your cat doesn't need, but here are some tools, but also I'm not going to judge you if you decide to let your cat out, because there's a lot of myths and misconceptions about, oh, well, cats need to be outside.
No, and I love this, that for people that might not know, because once again, dog people, we already know. Like, even making fun of Chanel, like even the doodle people, I heard someone mistakenly call someone's dog a golden doodle. They're like, this is not a golden doodle. This is an Australian doodle. I'm like, they look just alike. It's like,
they do.
You have to get the prefix of the doodle right, or it could easily end up like in a blood crip war, between added. Chanel's very protective about the doodles in her. But I mean, we see it all the time with dog people. That is for sure. You just don't think that there's cat wars, that people are really getting upset enough to where, obviously, you as the moderator, I just read your manifesto. It's like, oh, boom. And that's just, I think, like just the one-liners. That's not, there are like 5 sentences under each thing that I read. Like, to go.
We used all the space that they allow you for that particular setting.
Oh, I'm aware. This is like, I mean, I got stressed out. I didn't even apply. I was too nervous about the membership. I can't handle any more rejection right now. So I didn't even fill the thing out. I saw it like, wow, this is like a whole bunch. I don't know if dog, I'm saying that there's just a good example there. I don't feel like dog people, I don't know if we get too deep. I don't think we're that intelligent with the dog people. I think we do stuff on the surface level, but if it comes down to like making 10 rules or something to get inside of a virtual group.
It was learned experience. In the beginning, we really didn't start out with that much. I figured don't be an asshole could apply to almost anything. And of course, it's not a political group. It's a group about cats. So making sure people stay focused on those topics. And then just like different things happened over time. Like the one about promotion is funny because some random person tried to put the logo that I designed on T-shirts and sell them herself.
Oh wow!
And I was like, that logo's my baby. Like, I made it. Please don't do that.
Don't take your logo. That's
I'm real
cool.
proud of that logo.
I'm proud of your setup. I think you need a patent. Don't be an asshole.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
For somebody to take it. No, I mean, and that's the thing too. Like all the different cat companies that we've had over the week, everyone's been so super creative with the naming of their cat company. It's super, innovative, and I don't know. I'm so happy with CAT-Tober, and thank you so much for what you're doing down there. That is not, you're contributing to humanity, not even just cats, because I'll beat this drum to death. Gandhi said our culture will be judged by the treatment of our animals, and anyone that's like taking time out of their life. I mean, I do it professionally. I decide to make money, but you're doing it out of just pure love and passion, which is amazing. So much love for that. Where's the best places for people if they just want to find out more information but aren't down for committing to going through the group? Can they check out a website? Can they just check out the Facebook?
We have the website. It's still in development, but it exists. We have a Facebook page called the Asheville Cat Weirdos Emergency Fund. We post a lot on that. And then we're really proud of our Instagram. A friend of mine and board member, do you know who the Threadbangers are? They're YouTubers. They're wonderful people, and I met them because they really liked what I was doing here. And Corinne, she's one of the duo. She works on the Instagram, and then there's a whole team of people. So our Instagram is really active. It's really engaging. because the Asheville Cat Weirdos, the group, of course, is regional, Western North Carolina, and then the page for the emergency fund is pretty regional too. Focuses a lot on things that we're doing here locally. And raising funding, of course. The Instagram, though, we really wanted it to apply to like everybody. So
so we can pull it up.
Asheville Cat Weirdos. On brand.
That's your whole brand. I love it. There it is. So you guys, man, congratulations for you all, because your numbers like 4,600 for a new page on Instagram is nothing to sneeze at. That's work. That's putting in work. For real. I get it. So I want everyone to go out there, support Asheville Cat Weirdos, support Victoria, show so much. I just called you Victoria. I don't know why I called you Victoria.
It happens. It's okay. V.
Go out there and support. This is a cool thing, and it's one of those things too. I want to tell people to go out there and support and reshare this podcast, because it's organizations that I've seen organizations start off that size and they morph, and because it's the passion that allows someone to say like, hey, this is a real business. This is something that needs help on, because people aren't thinking that cat retention, like no one's thinking about that. There needs to be more of that, and we need less cats out on the street. And just to add my little 2 cents that I learned earlier before we go is that no one wants to see dead cats on the street. Like one of our guests brought up and said, like the psychological impact of that, of driving past and seeing a cat laying up. Like no one wants to see any animal dead on the side of the street. But we're kind of desensitized. We see a bird, I'm like, oh, it's a bird. A rat. Oh, dead rat. You see a cat, you're like, oh, that's like, you see a dead dog. No one drives past a dead dog on the street. Like, you pick it up, you pull it aside. I've seen people like pick them. I'm like, he's dead. Like, oh, but let's try to. You go that extra mile, but that does have a psychological. But there's 90 million plus cats that we learned over CAT-Tober. So there's a reason to show like a higher level of humanity and retention. Keep them in your house. Keep them out the shelter. Right. Yeah. Keep them safe. And
I want to, with the group, one of our things is education. I want to change that. It's good that you mentioned like what you do when you see, a dead animal. There's this, like, I asked the question, if you're somewhere, if you're at a restaurant and you see a dog run by, you go, oh my God, I have to get that dog. And you take pictures and you post it online and you do the thing and you catch it and you call the shelter. But if you see a cat, it's a whole production. But if you see a cat, you're just like, oh, well, that's just a cat. Just cats just do that. So I want to change that misconception. And one of the ways to do that is spaying and neutering, and really just teaching people that, keeping them inside is okay. They can be happy inside, I promise.
Amen. I love that. You brought up a good point. Good dog runs away. They call them the KGB, FBI, DEA, SWAT team. Cat runs away. People might be out there trying to like do some harm to the cat, like stay out of my yard. And so we definitely know that we need that education. V, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Being part of our show. Thank you for your energy on this Tuesday. Starting off right. Shelly, now, would you please, I'm asking you so nice while I have a witness right here in front of me. Can you please? Where are you going there already? Now,
go ahead.
I want to have you get the scavenger hunt up and going by like Friday. Reduce the amount of time to make
if it took her 1 week, it's probably going to take me a month.
If you want to, you can join the group and see, because the posts are still there. We closed all the comments, but we left them all still there. So if you wanted to see how we did it.
Boom.
Okay, I'll check it out.
That sounds like some Snell in the homework. I appreciate it.
I do like homework.
Right.
All right, y'all. This is Toriano Sanzoni. Thank y'all today for listening to another fabulous podcast. Please go check out V and all the amazing stuff that she's doing down there in North Carolina, Jordan Country. with the kitty cats, with cat retention and helping with their bills, all other kind of crazy things that can happen with owning a cat. I will see you all tomorrow. We're so many episodes away from our 100th episode, which is going to happen on November 13th. But between now and then, we're going to finish out this year rocking CAT-Tober. And since my boy Sterling can be here, thank you all. Get ready for the cat. Peace and love. I'm Toriano Sanzoni. Thank you all so much.
Peace and love.
Bye.